You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. As you guys see on the screen right now, we're going to be going over the best OP07 deck list for the OP7 meta that will be releasing next week. Yes, you heard me right. The best tier list is finally here. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, gang. Let's get it. So before we start, let's go over the tier list here. We have Shiesty. So this is pretty much S, A, B, C, and D tier. Or if you guys really want to be real, thorough, it's tier S, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. We're going to be going over all the best decks. In my opinion, I have over 1,000 hours spent in OP07. When OP06 came out, I didn't even play OP06 because the nail was still trash. So I just played OP07 for the past 3 months when it initially came out. And I feel like this is probably the most accurate and thorough tier list you're going to see in the YouTube streets for the One Piece TCG card game. Fact, not an opinion. Fact. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. The first card, leader we're going to be featuring has to be Rob Lucci. I'm going to be real with you. This is probably the best of A1. I've been asking you guys on my community tab, as you guys see on the screen right now, what do you guys think the second best deck is? Because you already know what the first best deck is. Actually, let's go ahead and get straight into it. The first best deck is probably and will be RP Law. Hopefully this deck will get banned, in the near future. Just very broken deck. It can do everything. This is pretty much the Sokka 2.0, and hopefully we see a ban of this leader when OP08 comes around, so we don't need to play with that bullshit when Black Maria comes out. Okay, nobody wants to play with that shit. No sir. Nope. Okay, so the next leader we're gonna be featuring is Blue Doflamingo. I'm gonna have to keep it a stack of you. This is probably the top of not A1, but a Brazy. I feel like B Brazy is probably the best tier 4 Doflamingo. I played all of a sudden, OP07 came out. They got some new support, some new cards that just got released, and I just have to keep it a stack with you. It is very good. It's kind of like a RP Law a little bit, where it just swarms the field over and over again. And if you can't stop his swarming, this can pretty much overwhelm your opponent. And I just love the fact that Dofi is up here. Dofi is one of my favorite characters in the One Piece TCG. Real shice. And I feel like this is where he deserves. He's not too much an A, but top of B, I feel like he might be the best of B. That's just my opinion. Next deck that we have is actually Whitebeard. Whitebeard is behind Dofi. As you guys can see in OP07, a lot of people are saying Whitebeard's trash, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. Whitebeard has been, taking tournament by storm. Here's another one right here of Whitebeard. We'll use this one and leave this one down here because this is a dog water art compared to this. Yeah, that's just my opinion, y'all. Whitebeard, very good. Had a really good showing in OP06, and I feel like at OP07, if you're not ready for a Whitebeard player, this is definitely gonna, surprise you. I hear a lot of people that come out of nowhere and say I lost to Whitebeard because they literally forgot how to play against it, or they just weren't expecting the rush down of the old school the old man can do. Okay, so very good, man. I mean, he's pretty much Hercules in the street right now. Oh, Hercules. Okay, so let's go ahead and get straight to the next one. We have Purple Yellow Croc. I feel like Purple Yellow Croc, I'll probably say it's the back of B. I don't think it's in cold C. I don't think it's, tier 3. I think it's in the back of, the Brazy B tier. Very good. I just feel like this deck, it has a lot of unlocked potential. Okay, I'm real interested to see if anybody's gonna break this deck. I feel like with all the new support we're getting with the Ace and just the yellow cards in general, Purple Yellow Croc has some unlocked potential that I feel like if somebody can really just get their hands on and just dive into, I mean, this deck could possibly go up to A1. Okay, that's how strong I feel like this deck is. And it's Purple Yellow Croc. It's a fan favorite deck. Hopefully somebody can unlock this deck because I do want to see, how this thing will pop off compared to things in A1. Let's go ahead and continue. Next deck we have is Red Purple Luffy. For OP07, see, look, I've been ever since OP08 first came out. I said purple yellow. I said red purple. I'm sorry, purple. I'm so used to. I was just talking about the yellow purple. Red Purple Luffy is definitely a cold. It's in C tier. I don't think it's in B tier. And the main reason why I know a lot of people say, oh, I think it should be in B tier. When it came to OP07, I don't see anybody playing Red Purple Luffy. It's really an OP08 when they get a whole bunch of broken purple cards where this deck really starts to shine. But in OP07, I feel like it just needs that one more set in OP07. In OP07, I feel like this deck can be like the top of Brazier in A1. You get what I'm saying? So just for right now, it's in cold. It's just like literally an OP08 waiting list, okay? Next deck we have is Yamato. Yamato fell off, and that's just a fact, not an opinion. Fact. Yamato was getting her cheeks clapped all of OP07. I mean, she actually was. She didn't really see any toppings of OP07. Yamato, I mean, it's still a decent kind of deck, but the whole rush down deck with the double attack, it's kind of really niche. I mean, if you're playing against somebody that has no clue what they're doing, or if their eyes closed, maybe you have a chance. But I just to keep it honest with you guys, Yamato's not it. And I think the main reason why it's not it is just for the simple fact that it kind of auto loses the blockers. And a lot of these top decks have some crazy blockers like RP Law, and also with Rob Lucci with like the Sabos and and I forgot what his name was, Borsellino's. Okay, so I feel like Yamato, you had a good showing last format, but this format OP07, you definitely in the cold. It's still playable, but it's not as competitive as all these other decks. Next deck we have is Purple Luffy. A lot of people are saying Purple Luffy deserves a B tier. No, it does not. If you look at the OP07, results from the Japan when Sokka was still good, these two decks are literally in the waiting room for OP08. Once OP08 comes out with a lot of these broken black cards, I feel like some of the, especially this deck can be like an A tier. But for right now, this is in the these two are in the OP08 waiting list because these are very good at OP08. Next deck we have is Dragon. Dragon is actually dog water. It's actually a shame. I think it's the first time we actually got Dragon as a leader, and the first time we do get Dragon as a leader, he's just actually trash.
Trash!
They should have never printed this thing.
Know your fucking place, trash. Fucking robots.
And I know that's hard to say because this is Luffy's dad, and he's supposed to be the head and one of the most wanted men in the world in the One Piece anime, but this was just a failed design card. They need to go back in the chopping block and buff this up because this is just not it. It makes no reason to use this compared to like RP Law or, Whitebeard. The next deck we have is actually Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria, I feel like fell behind. I honestly don't understand what happened to Gecko. I know they lost, I think it was Houndblaze, including with Sokka. The Sokka banned Houndblaze. I think that's what got banned. Don't quote me, I don't play black. But yeah, man, something happened to Gecko. I really don't understand what is going on because when I'm playing against Gecko with Enel, it feels like an easier matchup compared to Rob Lucci. Gecko overall just got extremely easier. And to be honest with y'all, I think it's probably right here in Brazy. Drops down still good, but it's not as good as, Rob Lucci. Let's keep it stacked. Next deck that we have is Bonnie. And honestly, I feel like Bonnie might be the head of B, okay? And this is the thing too, is that as you guys can see with my list, the A list and the S list are the cream of the crop decks, okay? These are decks you're always gonna see, the top tables, top regionals, and I feel like I shouldn't, people could say Bonnie may be able to go at the back of A, but, I'm not really too sure. I feel like it's the top of B. I honestly feel like it's the top of B. It could be A, but I don't want to put too many decks in A because it kind of defeats the purpose of A. These two decks are like the cream of the crop, like super meta. This is exactly what you need to be playing if you want to have a chance of winning. Bonnie's cool. It's just the only thing about Bonnie is that if you could actually get rid of their blocker. I forgot, I think it was Hawkins. I think that's the name of it. That's that broken blocker, which can't be removed at all from anything unless you attack it. And if you can get around their bird cages with Dofi or the Eustace Kid, you can pretty much this deck's almost free, okay? So very good deck, but like I said earlier, I'm not going to just put everything in A because, kind of defeats the purpose of what the S and A tier actually means in a tournament setting. The next deck that we have is Black and Yellow Luffy. This is an A tier deck. These two decks right here will be running these three decks, I'm sorry, will be running the meta black, yellow Luffy, black, and also RP Law. Very, very good combo centric deck. Only reason why it's not higher is because there's a high skill ceiling on this deck. I actually have a video of how to beat and also how to play this deck on my channel. So if you want to see, you know, what's that's hitting for card at the top, make sure you tap in, gang. And, you know, it's just a really, really cool deck, combo deck. If you like combo centric decks and don't mind, you know, really thinking a little bit, this is definitely a deck for you. Very, very good. Very, very good. Next deck we have is the greatest deck of all time. The greatest deck, you know, Bandai ever decided to bless us with a leader in One Piece. It is ahead of RP Law. I mean, all the bitches love this deck. I mean, if you play this deck, you're gonna come out with, you know, all the drip, getting all the hoes, getting all the money. I mean, you pretty much, when you use this leader, your drip is too hard, your weed is too loud, and your bitch is too bad, gang. And that's a fact, not an opinion. Fact.
His ass cooked. He got cooked.
Adrian, you didn't go down like that, huh?
He got cooked.
That's all Anel does, is just cook the competition, and he is definitely the best deck of all time. YGOD, Yellow Gang or Die, YGOD, and that's on the gang, man. I'm just playing with y'all. This shit is probably the back of fucking A, or it could even literally be the top of B. I'll probably put the back of A. Later in OP07, and I just gotta keep it, you know, 100 with y'all. OP07 and L kind of started, you know, taking a back seat. Like when it comes to results, OP07 for Japan, black, yellow Luffy, black, and RP Law still have a better showing. And the reason why I'm an NL player, as you guys see on the channel, we struggle against a lot of stuff. Like we struggle against, well, we really supposed to have a bad matchup against Rob Lucci. We kind of have a bad matchup against RP Law if we can't get to in-game. And we also kind of have a bad matchup against Green Bonnie, because if we don't see the proper cards to really, you know, take over, so like a Cracker or a Kiku, and they start setting up the Kid and Dofi, you pretty much get locked down because you're in the end game. Every time you bring out your big monsters, you just keep on getting frozen over and over again. So, you know, I feel like it's the back of A. I don't think it's the top of A. I feel like it is the back of the A, on the brink of going to B. And that's where I feel like it should be. It's no higher or no lower. Next deck we have is Boa. Boa is definitely in B. I feel like these two are almost kind of like the same exact decks. Only difference is that Boa really, you know, plays a little bit more top end cards, like the Kaidos, reshuffle your hand, and the Boas, I think it's like a 6-drop. I think 7 to 8K attack. So very, very good deck. Very, very cheap. This deck is going to be cheap as well. If you had to choose between one of these two, it's really just your flavor. You like, you know, cards with big beaters and allows you to play a Yonko with 12,000 attack. This is you. But if you just like to spam the board with smaller monsters over and over and over until, you know, your opponent can't play anymore, the Dofi is definitely the blue deck. So these two decks are very, very similar. It just irritates if you don't want to play high end or you don't play low end with a lot of swarm ability, man. So that's just my opinion. Next deck we have is, we're gonna have the End of Cold. I see a lot of people were hyping up this deck at one point in time, but I just got to keep it a stack with you. I'm not really seeing too many of these decks. What was it? Zoro Sanji that came out OP06. I'm really just not seeing a lot of it, and you know, maybe it has some unlocked potential, but I only see like 1 or 2 of these decks actually top or do something in the OCG when this thing first came out in Japan land. And you know, let me know below if you guys have some, you know, some cold spice for this shit. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna doubt the deck, but just as you know, when it comes to results and what I'm seeing on the sim, I don't really see too many people play this deck at all. So if you guys do know some shite shit that you do need to let me know about, put it in the comments below, because I'm actually real interested to see, you know how this Zoro Sanji is really handling the top meta decks up here. Okay, Reiju fell off. Reiju's now in cold behind, so these two are like OP08. So this is OP08. You might as well put this back over here. So these two are OP08. So it starts right here for OP07. So Reiju fell off. Reiju Ben fell off. Very, very combo centric deck. I just feel like it just literally just got power crept. That's all I really have to say about Reiju. Reiju just literally just got power crept. You rarely see any Reiju right now in OP06 like that. So for OP07, we're getting 5 new leaders. You're not really going to see Reiju like that. I mean, it's a cool deck. Cheap deck, one of the cheapest deck. Look, if you do want a deck to get into the game and you don't want to break the bank, I'm sorry, go ahead and pick up this ʤu:u. You will not be, you know, disappointed. Very, very cheap. And like I said, if you are a new player, you just want to learn the card game, this also won't break the bank, man, because I don't want you breaking the bank on a deck you may not like in the future. So go ahead and pick this up. But for right now, it's in cold because it just doesn't have any tournament showing. It's not because it's not good, it's because I'm not seeing it on the sim, and it's not really showing anything in tournament settings, like major tournament settings. Next deck we have is the guy with his willy out. I have no understand, like if you guys ever seen this guy's card art, it's the new leader Foxy. This man looks like he has this fucking his piece out for some reason, but in all, this deck is actually dog water, not really that good. I mean, I played against a lot of Foxies, but it's just like I have to keep it a stack when I need to keep it a stack. It's just really just not that good, y'all. This is definitely in dog water. It's just unfortunate because a lot of these OP06 leaders, they came out very, very cool design, but they're just not. I mean, when you compare it to like all these decks, like this is almost like a free win at this point. I mean, only way you're winning when you're Foxy player is that the guy has to literally like fall asleep while playing against you or something, bro. Like that's the only way you're winning this anything with this deck, honestly, or unless you're playing against a new player. Next deck we have is ÜTA. I feel like ÜTA's probably behind. I'll probably put like around right here, right next to Whitebeard. I actually have a video on how to beat ÜTA because it did get some support in OP07 and in EB01. It's very, very good. I honestly think it's very, very good. I just think there's so many other decks out there to use. People aren't really on ÜTA like that. It can be really bricky with the film cards. If you don't see your film cards, you will kind of lose. But, you know, if you can actually get that train moving, this thing can run over everything. And that is definitely a fact, not an opinion.
Fact.
Let's go ahead and get straight into the next one.
Good God. Hey, you Jeepster.
We have Black Yellow Luffy. We already talked about that one. Hannibal. I'm not even going to talk too much about these because this is definitely dog water. Odin, I wouldn't say it's dog water, but I think it's unlocked potential. It could be dog water, but I would just put it in cold because I mean, look, Odin's not as bad as these down here. So, you know, Odin, very decent. I actually have a video on how to beat this as well. Card at the top, make sure you tap in. And let's go to get straight to the next one. Vegapunk is kind of whatever. I could put it in dog water, but I have seen some people, you know, be on some shice time with this. I'm gonna put this at the end of cold. It's still not a very, very good leader. Just starting off with a leader with 2, I feel like it's just so much at a disadvantage. It just really is, because if you just make one mess up or you don't play nothing right, you can literally lose in a heartbeat. But Vegapunk is just, if you want to play a mono yellow deck, you might as well play like ĵaŭuⱠⱠ or an L. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like this deck just needs a little bit more support. Back of cold, back of C tier, and yeah, let's go to get straight to the next one. Blue Yellow Ace, we're gonna put definitely that in dog water. I actually see no one use this at all. Same thing with Red Yellow Sabo. Haven't seen this. I feel like this deck is actually going to be better in OP08 Blue Yellow Ace because of all the new Whitebeard cards that are coming out, or just blue cards and yellow cards in general. I feel like this is going to be a sleeper deck. You guys actually might want to pick up this alternate art right now before OP08 comes out, because I feel like this could be a potential cracked ass deck in the future. The next deck we have is ĵaŭuⱠⱠ. The next deck we have is ĵaŭuⱠⱠ, and ever since Reject got banned, this deck literally fell off the planet of the earth. I don't know what happened with this deck. This deck is actually trash. I feel like it's nothing but fraud players play this. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I feel like this is a cheaters deck. This is definitely a cheaters deck, and I feel like cheaters deck deserve cold. Okay, C for cheater. Okay, C for cheater, C for cold. I'm just playing with you, man. It's just some shit I saw on YouTube recently about some person using ĵaŭuⱠⱠ, and he's literally just cheating his ass off for everything. But ĵaŭuⱠⱠ pretty much fell off the planet of the earth. EB01 came out, and once EB01 came out and the ban list came out with Reject getting banned, this deck is really kind of mid. I feel like it might be the best to see, though. It is the best to see. I feel like ĵaŭuⱠⱠ is definitely the best of C, and I think that's the highest it's going to get from me. Now, I mean, we have the single player deck, the role playing deck, the most boring ass deck, the snooze fest deck, this you know, why are you even playing One Piece? Just go play solitaire type deck. I mean, if you like playing decks with no interaction, you don't feel like, you know, playing with the opponent, you can play this deck. But this is probably one of the most, if not the most boring deck to play. When I play against this decks, I'm literally literally snoozing my ass off. Very, very boring deck to play against. But if you like boring decks and you like RPG decks, this is definitely it. Really, nothing really. I mean, I feel like this is probably one of the most free decks to play. So, just my opinion, I just don't like playing against Nami. And the last leader we're gonna be talking about is Perona, and I feel like Perona is actually a little bit high. I feel like Perona might be a little bit higher than Boa, and actually I think it's probably like, I'll probably say it's bonding these two and then Perona. Perona is actually very good at allowing you to pop with that 4-drop, and also using you know, I think I'm pretty sure it uses the Dofies. Dofies is really good. Just the green-black combo is very, very good. Very, very good for board control, and also it does run the 8-drop Gecko. Look, this is by far the most shyest and accurate OP07 tier list. I know a lot of other people have like a million other decks, but I feel like there's no reason to have any of those other decks, because realistically speaking, these are all the meta decks who will more likely be seeing at your locals. And this is also what I've been seeing for the past 3 or 4 months on the OP07, and also what I've been seeing just for the results of all OP07 in the OCG Japan land. Usually our metas copies what they do if they didn't have no ban list or nothing crazy going on. So yeah, man, this is definitely the most shystiest list, and after 1,000 hours, this is what the top decks are going to look like in the OP07 meta, man. Look, if you guys were really enjoying the video and really just liking the vibes, wait, hold up. Let me just go ahead and say the outro for the gang real quick. YGOD. If you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And gone.